play. 17-4 overall. Maryland drops to 6-2 in league play. Costello 15 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. Valentine almost had a triple-double. Bryn Forbes scored 25. They overcome Melo Trimble and the Terps and win here for the Breslin Center. Coming up right now, Arizona and Cal. Let's send it out to Berkeley along with Bill Walton. Here's Dave Pasch.
All right, Dan, 2-2. 1 minute into this Pac-12 matchup here at Haas Pavilion. A gold out on a sold-out night here in Berkeley with Hall of Famer Bill Walton. I'm Dave Pasch. Arizona comes in having won 3 straight after a slow starting league play, just 1-2 to begin Pac-12 action. Meanwhile, Cal with a 3-point opportunity for Jabari Bird, getting the bucket from the outside and drawing the foul.
Berkeley, California, gleaming in the golden light of day. What a spectacular environment here. Everybody in their gold. The Bears undefeated at home this year. They play terrific basketball. They're off to a great start. Their freshman, Ivan Rabb, who had the game's opening basket, and then Jaylen Brown, they're going to have to be spectacular comets just exploding through the universe today.
Cal is dominated by freshmen, 2 of the top freshmen in all of college basketball, and Ivan Rabb and Jaylen Brown. Arizona is a senior-led team. They have 4 seniors, and Ryan Anderson is probably their best player. And here is Anderson, right on cue, and he has made, Bill, 14 of his last 15 from the floor.
Second in the conference in field goal percentage, absolutely playing spectacular basketball, Ryan Anderson. So physically fit, as is this entire Wildcat squad from Tucson.
Here's Jaylen Brown, one of the freshmen we were talking about. He's from Marietta, Georgia. Could not get it to go.
Kingsley Okoro has got to be strong on the offensive foul. Easy play to call. Keep both hands on the ball, Kingsley. Granted, you grew up playing soccer in Derby, England, but you got to realize you can't use that off arm as a pendulum, as a catapult to get to the basket. Please.
That's his first foul. You seem mad at him.
I want this to be the game that everybody's been anticipating for. I don't want it to be ruined by the refs. I don't want it to be ruined by fouls. I don't want it to be ruined by careless, inattentive play.
Anderson gets deep into the paint. He has been fantastic. He's a transfer from Boston College. He sat out last year. He's actually from California, grew up in the LA area, and he committed early to Boston College, and then all of a sudden he blew up his senior year and everybody was on his radar, but he stuck to his guns, went to BC, ended up transferring to play for the Wildcats for his senior year.
It didn't work out for either him or Mark Tollefson, the other starting forward for Cal. They both fifth-year players. Tollefson from USF just across the bay here. But Arizona, they are the most structured, they're the most disciplined, they're the most talented, they're the deepest, and arguably they're the best team in all of Pac-12 Conference of Champions play.
Well, they're a different team than they were last year when they had all those star players that went to the NBA, but they're better offensively, believe it or not. Jaylen Brown, no. In Pac-12 games, Arizona is averaging 90 points per game and shooting close to 50% from behind the arc. Here's York.
Beautiful passing, Gabe York.
Anderson can't get it to go, but he was fouled. That's the second team foul on the Bears. They get Kingsley Okoro for his second, so he'll come out of the game, and we'll see Cameron Brooks for the first time.
Cuonzo Martin, the excellent second-year coach here for California, he's tried all kinds of different lineups this year. Cameron Brooks was a starter. They went small with Ivan Rabb in the middle. But with Arizona sticking to their game plan, Sean Miller is always establish ourselves. Pound it inside initially. Get the other team in foul trouble. We have size and strength. We have discipline. We have depth. We have a plan. Get to the free throw line. The Wildcats, they do not foul themselves. Most importantly, they win ball games.
Anderson, a Wendy's Wooden Award candidate. And 1 out of 2 there. Arizona by 2.
One of the great things about this Wildcat team is that the stats mean nothing to any of the players. They just play to win.
And at times last year, you wondered if, to some of those guys, the stats meant too much, right? Or do you not want to comment? Bird misses a 3.
Why would I not want to comment?
Well, there was dead air for a few seconds. I was concerned.
I was waiting for you to stop, please. It is Dave, right? So you're saying that basically last year's team was a bunch of selfish, greedy gunners.
No, I didn't say
And that this year's team is fantastic, and they're playing together as a squad. It's a different team this year because last year only T.J. McConnell had the ball. And the other guys were kind of feeding off it. This year it's who's ever got it, just attack and go. And the offense, this has been the greatest offensive run in the history of Sean Miller basketball. And I couldn't be happier.
Wildcats are 16-3. They're 4-2 in Pac-12 play. Cal is 13-6, 3-3 in the league. Here's Jordan Matthews. He and Gabe York are the top 3-point shooters in the league. This is a 2 from Matthews, but you see the shooting touch off the window and in.
Jordan Matthews capable of being that explosive volcano. Are you aware that there's 3 volcanoes going off right now in the world? Something's happening. The planets are all lined up. There's water in the Strawberry Creek. The volcanoes are going off in Indonesia and Russia and outside of Mexico City. Something's big time. Somebody better watch out what's going to happen in Yellowstone pretty soon. That's where they're predicting the next big one.
Back to the game with 15:15 to go here in the first, and Arizona up 2, but Sam Singer with the basket. He is replacing Tyrone Wallace, their point guard, who's out for a month after breaking a bone in his right hand in practice last weekend. And Singer played very well in his first start of the year in their win against Arizona State a couple of nights ago.
Sam Singer, his best game of his career, a terrific all-around player.
Nice move by Parker Jackson Cartwright, able to hang and score.
Little Parker has been a dynamic force in the open court for Sean Miller. And his three-point shooting after he dumps it inside. He's one of the reasons that this Arizona squad is just flowing beautifully like a river with water in it.
Yeah. Shot clock at 9. I just can't comment on it anymore. Timer's at 5. And
oh,
Matthews,
my goodness gracious. That's a Steph Curry shot right there.
Except it didn't go in. 11-9 Arizona early on.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. Because at Cheez-It, real cheese matters.
Sather Gate, Campanile, Sproul Plaza, Telegraph Avenue, Bancroft Library. Yeah, we're on it. We're in Berkeley.
Indulgence no longer comes at a price. Well, actually it does, but it's just $9.99. New Hot Shot Whiskey Chicken, Applebee's Grill and Bar favorites made a little better for you. Featuring new dishes loaded with flavor and all under 650 calories.
When a mountain needs to refresh things, it doesn't call for a cleaning service. It uses the cold to sift through every single speck. So if you wonder what inspired us to cold filter our beer, well, you're looking at it. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
Cheez-It Grooves are the perfect union of a Cheez-It and a chip.
You mean like they got married?
I guess.
You'd make a pretty bride in that wedding gown.
Oh, it's a lab coat.
Hey, everyone, Joe's getting married.
I am not.
We take time for our cheese to mature in our crispy Cheez-It Grooves.
James drove his RAV4 hybrid, unaware death was lurking.
Huh?
He was challenged by a team of lumberjacks.
Let's do this.
He would drive them to Hard Knocks Canyon, where he would risk broken legs, losing limbs, and slipping and dying.
Not helping.
But death would have to wait. James left with newfound knowledge, a man's gratitude, and his shirt. How far will you take the all-new RAV4 hybrid? Toyota, let's go places.
High in the hills above Berkeley. What more could you ask for?
Where you might be sleeping tonight pending rain. 11-9 Arizona leading Cal. There are 8 teams within 2 games of first place entering tonight's action of the Pac-12. Arizona has won 3 straight. Cal ended a 3-game losing streak with a win over Arizona State. And in that game, Ivan Rabb had a career-high 20 points. He and Jaylen Brown are the stars for Cal. They're both freshmen.
Ivan Rabb, a local boy from Oakland. His high school team from last year, they're here in attendance today. He can do it all. And then there's Jaylen Brown, Atlanta, a man in full. Yes, these guys are very, very close. Not only are they great basketball people, they're tremendous students. Both of their dads and families are here today. This is absolutely incredible. For Arizona, a senior front court, Ryan Anderson, Long Beach, California. Caleb Tarczewski, New Hampshire. Mark Tollefson, Danville, just a couple miles from here. These guys are totally skilled. The balance across the board. They're physical. They can score. They can rebound. They can defend. And Big Caleb, that guy, he's standing taller these days than Grizzly Peak, which is right behind us, the tallest point on campus.
I thought you were talking about the mascot, who's literally right behind us.
I love this environment right here. No, that's a very cool mascot.
Jackson Cartwright pushes off. It's an offensive foul, and Parker Jackson Cartwright, that's his first and the third on Arizona. You showed those seniors and talked about him. Ryan Anderson, the numbers for Anderson are just ridiculous in terms of his field goal percentage. He's made 16 of his last 17 shots. He's on the bench right now. Bill, you had a game in your career where you missed one shot, so you know what it's like to have this hot streak going.
And I lived with that stain and stigma the rest of my life. And Coach Wooden would always remind me, Walt, I used to think you were a good player.
Well, you were 21 to 22, right?
And then you missed that one shot.
There's a steal by
Allen.
Allen, and he finishes on the other end. It's a 4-point Wildcat lead.
Kadeem Allen, who came to Arizona as an offensive juggernaut, led the nation in junior college scoring 2 consecutive years. Junior college player of the year both years. Now he's a defensive standout. He's got twice as many block shots as Gary Payton II up at Oregon State, the reigning defensive player of the year in Conference of Champions.
Brown with the miss. He's 0 for 3, but there to put it back is Cameron Rooks, whose dad Sean played at Arizona. Rooks, a sophomore here at Cal.
Sean Rooks now coaching mightily for the Philadelphia 76ers. We haven't done one of their games in a while.
No, in fact, I was surprised to learn that he was coaching at Philadelphia. Although, good that Brett Brown got that extension, by the way, considering he's got to deal with that nonsense. As we have a foul here.
Wait a second, that's not nonsense.
What, all the losing?
No,
the
Jerry
players?
Colangelo has come to reestablish order in the universe. You bring in Mike D'Antoni to give some head coaching experience there, and now all of a sudden, Philadelphia's starting to play a little better. This guy Okafor, that guy, Nerlens Noel, they got a foundation there in Philadelphia. Jerry Colangelo, that guy's a proven winner. He's going to get it done there.
Kingsley Okoro on the bench now with 3 fouls. And by the way, TJ McConnell has played well this year for Philadelphia. McConnell, a guy that I know you felt should have won Pac-12 Player of the Year last year. Joe Young, who played very well for the Pacers at Golden State last night, he won the award.
I'm disappointed in that not enough credit is given to winning. And that's what Arizona does. Arizona, everybody's so consumed with stats and how many throwdowns you get. Please, just win the games.
You were just chastising me earlier for bringing that up as we get a foul. Oh, a jump ball wristage was over the top of Rabb. But Michael Greenstein said, jump it up. So on the alternate possession arrow, look, there's no jump ball. So it's an inbound pass. What do you think?
That's a fine play. Always call jump ball, dribbling by a double dribble, 3 seconds traveling, instead of calling fouls, which have huge impact on a game like this, on really every game.
Kadeem Allen missed the pull-up, and Rooks tracks it down.
Why would you ever call a foul if you're a ref, unless it directly prohibited the guy from being successful on that play? No harm, no foul. Please, Chick Hearn, let him play. Traveling violation. Easy play to call.
You want to just call the rest of the game?
Well, that's the call you have to make, because that's what forces everybody to clean up their game. We know all these players. These are not dirty players. They're not trying to hurt somebody. They're not trying to foul.
But you have to call fouls when guys are having their movement restricted off the ball or on the ball. If the guy's got his hand on his back and he can't get to where he wants to go.
Look, this is not T-ball, where everybody gets a trophy.
This
is about men. This is about going for honor, glory, legacy.
Ristich
Deuce
inside.
Ristich, take it to the hoop. One of the most improved players in the Conference of Champions. One of the real reasons why Arizona is just so far and above all the other teams, because of their depth in the front line here. We haven't even seen Mark Tollefson now playing defense here. make any significant contribution yet, and he's been their best player over the last 3 games since Alonzo Trier got hurt. That's a tough shot.
Rabb can't hit the turnaround. Rooks, though, with another offensive rebound. He's got a couple here in the first half. And now Bird on the drive, can't finish.
Ryan Anderson.
Rabb with great hustle, keeps it alive. And now a 3-ball from Matthews is good. He leads the league with 49 triples. And a timeout by Arizona.
Sean Miller's beside himself. Get a rebound, somebody. Please box out.
Let's check in with Adnan Burke in the studio. Adnan.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Just a friendly reminder, over on ABC, the debut of the NBA on prime time on a Saturday night, the debut for Tyronn Lue as the head coach. Currently tied right now, the Cavaliers are, with the Bulls. Once again, that's over on ABC. We'll get you back to Berkeley right after this.
Experts choose Goodyear. And everything we learn making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
The art of rebounding is you have to assume that everything's a miss. Rebounds from my team and a rebound from my body. That's what I'm building with chocolate milk. Nutrients to refuel, protein to rebuild, backed by science.
When we launched the new Wendy's 4-for-4 meal, people really thought it was a big deal. With the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4 nuggets, fries, and a Coke, who wouldn't like this? Maybe her. We kind of stole the thunder from her engagement photo.
That's rude.
Sorry.
The Wendy's 4-for-4 meal. It's bigger than we thought.
How do I know I'm getting the best price on this?
We'll match any competitor's price.
What about this?
Price match guarantee.
And this?
Yep.
So no monkey business? No tomfoolery?
Oh, we do have tomfoolery. Tom? Staples has a price match guarantee.
Make low prices happen. Staples, make more happen.
James drove his RAV4 hybrid into the frozen wilderness. The scent of his jerky attracted a hungry wolf pack behind him. To survive, he had to remain fearless. He would hunt with them and expand their territory. He'd form a bond with a wolf named Acalia, become den mother, and nurse their young. James left in search of his next adventure. How far will you take the all-new RAV4 hybrid? Toyota, let's go places.
Back in Berkeley, Dave Pasch and Bill Walton. Arizona leading Cal by 1. You heard Adnan mention that the debut of Saturday night NBA action on ABC is going on. Speaking of the NBA, Luke Walton here earlier today. 3 generations of Waltons with Luke, Lawson, and of course, my partner.
Yes, that's Lawson, the little one, who's being held. And he's already well on his way. I just took the ball from him. Luke didn't like that when I did that to him. But I actually had to stop playing. Throw it down, big man. One time, yes. Luke is a great dad. And I'm a super proud dad. To see Caleb and Gabe York, all these guys who we've grown up with, and Sean Miller today. And yeah, little Lawson getting ready for the beach. All right. Go Warriors. We're all Warriors of the Golden State.
A source told me last night that every game day you would send an inspirational text full of wisdom to your son. A lengthy text, I'm told. And then just before the Chicago game, which turned out to be Luke's last game before Steve Kerr came back as Anderson is fouled, you sent a shorter text, the source tells me. Yet when he went to open the shorter text, there was an arrow. He clicked on the arrow, which sent him to another page, which had then 3 pages of information.
Where do you get this information?
I have sources, I told you. Second foul on Rooks.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of being a proud dad. And when you're young, you don't know what that means to the parents. My dad went to college here. My dad loved it here. Finished second in his class. My dad then went from here to World War II and came back and spent the rest of his life trying to get people to get along. I wish he was still alive today so he could come and have a chat with you.
Anderson with 8 points. So just give me a sense, what were some of the messages you sent to Luke? Obviously it had an impact. Be quick here. There's a game going on.
Give it to Steph Curry.
That's great advice, and that's what Steve Kerr said last night when Curry hit a 3 off the bat. He said that is great coaching. And a blocking foul here on Tarzewski. That's his first.
And when that's not working, give it to Conference of Champion alumni Klay Thompson. And when that's not working, give it to Andre Iguodala or Leandro Barbosa or Sean Livingston or Draymond Green. or just this endless list of guys. My goodness, what a team. How fun. I mean, they don't even play that well and they get 70 points in a half.
Midway through the first half here, Arizona leading Cal by 2. The Wildcats have won 3 in a row. And we get an offensive foul.
Jordan Matthews on the screen here. Please, as a screener, don't screen a man, screen a spot. The guy who's receiving the screen, that's his responsibility.
First foul on Matthews.
We're halfway through the season.
16 fouls already on California.
Jordan Matthews is a junior, grew up with a dad who's an outstanding, legendary basketball coach throughout the entire state of California.
Here's York, too strong on the 3, and Rooks with a rebound. Cal looking to push tempo, but Arizona gets back defensively. That's the thing about Arizona. It's better offensively this year and still pretty good defensively.
It's a faster-paced team.
Brown for 3, too strong, and he's 0 for 4 from the floor. Singer, though, with a rebound. Singer had 6 boards the other night. They get a second chance opportunity, but Matthews can't bury the 3.
Ryan, look at Anderson and Tarczewski up the court in transition.
York floating through the lane into tip by Anderson.
Big men running the floor. Transition basketball. Sam Singer, an exquisite basketball player on all levels. He needs to have the ball in his hands more because it just keeps moving.
Brown able to put it in for his first basket. They gave the last Arizona bucket to Tarczewski. His second field goal, 2-point Arizona lead. Jaylen Brown finally on the board. He comes in leading Cal in scoring at 15 points per game. York's floater in and out.
It's the same thing that happened to Gabe York in Stanford the other night. Missed a lot of shots early.
Matthews off the mark on a wide open 3. And he's a guy that shoots in the mid-40s percentage-wise. He's struggling so far in this game. He did hit one earlier, but had a couple wide open threes. York off the glass.
York has worked so hard. All these guys, they're the beneficiaries of the top strength and conditioning coach in the entire Conference of Champions, Chris Reynolds. And the whole program in its entirety is at the top. And so Gabe York has become a complete basketball player. Came into Arizona, Tucson, with little short guy, not tip-top shape. Now he's just a physical stud. His specimen can go all day and play every aspect of the game.
They're in the 8-minute mark here in the first half. Arizona on top by 4. Here's York defended by Jaylen Brown.
They got to get the ball to Tollefson inside here.
Or Tarczewski. And there he is scoring on Rooks. That was an excellent look by Ryan Anderson.
Caleb Tarczewski is 9 games away, 9 victories away from becoming the winningest player in the history of Arizona basketball. That is quite the accomplishment in this legendary program.
He's got 101 victories as a player. And remember, he's missed time with injury, missed 8 games with a foot injury this year. Shot clock at 8 for Cal.
He's been better since that injury.
Here's Matthews, and he's off target again from the perimeter.
Mark Tollefson, Danville, wears number 23 in honor of Michael Jordan, who we used to idolize as a young boy, 3 years old, watching Space Jam with Bugs Bunny.
Anderson, no.
Look at
That's the
Jaylen
second
Brown.
miss for Anderson, more than he had in the last 2 games combined.
Take it to the hoop, Jaylen Brown.
And Brown fouled on the attack. He'll go to the line for the first time tonight.
What a player, and that's what we need to see more from Jaylen Brown. Forget the structure and organization, take it to the rim.
The all-new Tacoma. Toyota. Let's go places.
You see a place that's alive with purpose and passion. You see a place inspired by a long tradition of untraditional excellence. You see a place built by the people, for the people of California, the nation, and the world. What do you see? You see Berkeley.
For 200 years, we've lived above you, but you do not know us.
We need them off our land. We've got $1 billion investment at stake up there.
I don't think you gentlemen have any idea what you're dealing with.
I never had seen one of y'all before.
One who all before?
The harder we try to push, the tougher they are gonna get.
We will never leave this mountain!
Oh, look. My phone is blowing up.
Mobile Strike. Download and play now, free from the App Store.
Well, so far, Arizona shooting 60% from the floor. That's because they're scoring in the paint. They have 16 points in the lane, Bill, right now.
And they're doing that by capitalizing on Ryan Anderson, who is just taking advantage of a young Ivan Rabb. Plus, when Ryan Anderson hits this shot, no team is going to be able to beat Arizona. When you go to the lane, you're going to know you're going to have your big guys, Caleb Tarczewski, Ryan Anderson, just pounding that offensive glass. And the high-low interchange between Ryan Anderson and Caleb Tarczewski is a thing of beauty to watch. And Caleb coming back from that stress reaction problem with his foot, he's not going to play huge minutes right now. They got Deuce Ristich, who's doing great. But this guy, Ryan Anderson, who's got himself in shape. Ryan Anderson, when he showed up at Arizona, he had 35 pounds of fat on him. 18% body fat. He's now down to 6% body fat. He turned that 35 pounds of fat into muscle, and that's Chris Rounds over there sitting on that bench in conjunction with their trainer, Justin. This is a program, the way they feed him, the way they treat him psychologically with Dr. Amy Athey, the sports psychologist who works strictly with the basketball team, and all the athletes there, 500 of them in Tucson.
And we're talking obviously about your son Luke and his tenure at Arizona as Brown gets the block after missing 2 free throws on the other end. Brown and Rabb, by the way, are a combined 2 of 8 from the floor.
There you go.
And Brown misses again. Brooks can't tip it in, but they keep it alive, and now Brown is open. A 3. Won't go.
That's okay. Just keep playing like that if you're Jaylen Brown.
Ristich got position, but he blew the layup. Got it back. Goes to the ground.
Jump ball.
Yep.
Great
and
call.
On the possession arrow, it will go to Cal.
Jaylen Brown defensively coming from the weak side, high above him, has to duck his head to keep from getting injured there and in transition. California is not playing well. They don't have a single guy who's getting it done on the offensive end.
That's been the story, though, this year.
They're only down 6 points. If one guy gets hot, so Cuonzo, he's trying to build this program. You know, he inherited a squad, a unit that just wasn't that good. Now they're undefeated at home. That's how you start.
Well, they play good defense. They lead the conference in field goal defense and scoring defense, but they're having trouble all season finding offensive consistency.
It's too structured. It's too organized for this type of team.
Singer inside the arc, buries it too.
That's Singer.
Elaborate.
That guy is really good.
Elaborate on what you mean by that, Bill, about that it's too structured and not enough free-flowing? Is that what you're saying? And not enough individual one-on-one?
We're in Berkeley. This is freedom. This is creativity. This is individual imagination. You got great stars out there. Ivan Rabb, Jaylen Brown, let him go. I mean, Jaylen Brown, he loves Kobe Bryant. That's his player. That's his guy, Kobe, right? So that's like saying, okay, Kobe, we're going to try to run time off the clock and try to get you a backdoor cut with somebody else creating. Are you kidding? Let's let these guys have the ball and let them go up and down.
Rabb able to connect from outside. Ivan Rabb coming off a career-high 20-point night against Arizona State. He's a freshman from Oakland. He's been a winner everywhere he's been. At Bishop O'Dowd, he won a state championship there. Won a gold medal with Team USA on the under-16 and under-17 teams.
And Ivan Rabb, whose dad is here, whose high school team, Bishop O'Dowd, they're all here. Beautiful pass, Deuce Ristich.
And Simon from Temecula, as we discussed in our last Arizona broadcast, gets the basket for U of A.
Have you made your pilgrimage to Temecula yet? Have you scooped up some of the special dirt there and rubbed it all over your body and basked in the glow of Mount Palomar, Mount San Jacinto? Please, expand your mind. Come to Berkeley. Join the world.
Singer missing. There's Rooks. Boy, Rooks is dominating the offensive glass, getting Cal second chance points.
Cameron Rooks grew up in a basketball household, the culture there of his dad, slowed by injuries. Extremely tall. The guy's at least 7'2". But he sat out all the last year. He had the major knee reconstructive surgery. Now he's just anchoring this great Cal defensive squad.
Oh, great look underneath. And a three-point chance, or they're going to wave it off and say technical. They're going to wave it off here on the dunk by Ristich. Okay, maybe not a technical, but maybe that the ball was coming out.
They held the rim, which impacted whether it went in or not.
And so no technical, but no basket. It'll be 2 shots for Ristich.
That's an offensive goaltending violation.
Yep, basket interference.
He was just trying to protect himself, not get undercut there by some little guy running underneath him.
Meanwhile, Rooks has 3 fouls. So Okoro and Rooks, both with 3 personal fouls, and he's going to go back to Okoro and bring Rooks out of the game at this point. And they can't go small against Arizona. This is what Cuonzo Martin has to do because Arizona's too big.
But this is what Arizona does. They wear you down. You ever stood on top of the Golden Gate Bridge and looked at that ocean coming in with those currents?
On top of it?
Yeah, on top of it. And you look down and you see that ocean coming in after it makes the big curve out there at Point Reyes, and then it comes through the ocean and right into the bay, and it just washes all those rocks. That's what Arizona does to you. They just keep coming like the tide. And with the moons and the planets aligned right now, this is a really high tide.
We've officially are off the rails here early as Jabari Bird gets to the goal and puts it in. Cal is starting to get to the rim now against Arizona.
This is the Conference of Champions. This is not a truck stop conference, okay? This is the most beautiful place in the world. California, meet me on the Burning Shore.
Here's Allen with the floater, and it goes over Okoro. Kadeem Allen, the National Junior College Player of the Year 2 years ago. Redshirted last year. He wasn't going to get a lot of minutes because all the talent they had here. But he's had a fine season so far. 8 points, 4 assists per game.
And the sacrifices that he makes, the sacrifices that little Parker Jackson Cartwright make, wow.
And an Arizona foul. As we go to a commercial, you mentioned that this is not a truck stop conference. A buddy of yours did this, huh?
This is the Conference of Champions. We're in Berkeley. The sun is shining. Let's go.
It's actually 8:30.
It isn't always easy to know where you stand financially. Multiple accounts, investments, insurance. It can leave you wondering how it all fits together. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you see your whole picture, find out what you truly want, and then together we design a plan to go get it. There's a confidence that comes in knowing what financial security is and doing what it takes to achieve it. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently.
Those new glasses?
They are. Do I look smarter?
Yeah, a little. You're making money now. Are you investing?
Well, I've been doing some research.
Let me introduce you to our broker.
How much does he charge?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you get your fees back if you're not happy? Wow, you're laughing.
That's not the way the world works.
Well, the world's changing.
Are you asking enough questions about the way your wealth is managed? Wealth management at Charles Schwab.
I'm Jesse Owens.
Here we go.
You're the fastest man on the earth.
You want to win a gold medal in Berlin?
Even under the Hitler regime, you get a chance, you're gonna walk away from it. I got people looking at me for an example. I don't care about any of that. But you're right, Larry. You don't have to. Running some type of direction. People telling me I can't do it. I want it twice as bad now.
Rated PG-13.
This is Chasing 72. This is your game. Rocket Spurs at 8, Mavs Warriors at 10:30. Wednesday on ESPN.
I'm Adnan Ver coming up with a Jeep halftime report. The Spartans had lost back-to-back games, but in East Lansing, a resounding triumph for Tom Izzo and company. Plus, the top-ranked Sooners stopping Baylor. Buddy Hield stepping up. Myself, LaFonso Ellis coming up at the half. More from Dave Pasch and Bill Walton. Always fun.
All right, Adnan, and you talked about Michigan State ending a 3-game losing streak overall. Duke ended a 3-game skid today, beating NC State. They play on Big Monday against Miami at 7, followed by Kansas and Iowa State at 9 right here on ESPN.
I love college basketball, and I really love the Conference of Champions. How special it is to be here in the shadows of Bancroft Library. How special to be at the end of Telegraph Avenue. How special it is to be right here in the shadows of the Campanile and the clock tower, third tallest in the world. And all the geniuses who come to go to school here. And now these spectacular athletes putting on this perfect display of championship basketball. That's a traveling violation. Dial up. Pick a pivot foot there.
Jaylen Brown's got position on Kadeem Allen. Here's Brown, who has struggled from the floor in this game, 1 for 7. And an offensive foul is called here on Brown. That's his first player control foul, no free throws, although they're over the limit. What do you think?
Easy play to call. Kadeem Allen's not a flopper. Kadeem Allen is a big stud. And if you saw Kadeem Allen by himself, you'd say, wow, this guy's probably a front court player. Is that blood trickling down his cheek there?
No.
But no, why would Jaylen Brown turn and face a smaller player?
Here's Ristic spinning on Okoro.
Send it back, Kingsley.
He's aggressive, playing with 3 fouls. Arizona has 22 points in the paint. Cal has 24 for the game. Overall, here's Anderson leaning in. He thought he was fouled, no whistle. The Cal fans thought he traveled.
Take it to the hoop, Jaylen.
Brown, and they're going to call a foul on York on the drive. That's the 17th foul, so it'll be a 1-and-1 for Jaylen Brown as York picks up his first foul. Brown is 0 for 2 at the line.
It's okay, the way he's playing. He's not waiting around. Players make plays. Plays don't make players. Don't look over at the side. I was so lucky. I grew up in an era and a culture of basketball that was just full speed, up and down. And coaches who never wanted you to look at the sideline.
So Dr. Jack and John Wood never wanted you to look over at the sideline?
No.
So when did it start and how did it start?
When did what start?
Well, when did players
micromanaging? It started in the early 80s.
Well, that's your word, micromanaging. I'm just talking about players being concerned more about getting
what the
pulled
coach
out
says?
of the game, or
if they get pulled out of the game, just turn right around and say, no, he's looking for you to go out, not for me. I'm staying in here. Put yourself in. Beautiful back cut.
And York puts it in with the left hand. Jackson Cartwright is very good at finding the open man. He anticipates well. That was an excellent pass. It's a 6-point Arizona lead at the 2-minute mark here in the first half. Jaylen Brown going to put it on the floor again, attacking with the left hand. He missed, and a foul is called on the floor, but it'll be a free throw anyway. It'll be a 1-and-1 situation.
This is just beautiful basketball. And last year, little PJC, he never got to play because TJ McConnell played the whole game and was the best player in the conference. But now that he's getting his opportunities, made the most of it. And all these guys, you ever been to Tucson in July?
Well, actually,
you ever been to Tucson in August?
I live like an hour and a half away, so yes.
Okay, so like, you mean you don't go to Mission Beach like the rest of the people in Arizona in the summertime?
I'm one of the foolish ones. I stay there the entire summer.
Okay, so like these guys, they all stayed in Tucson in July and August, and they spent all their time working on their game in the Richard Jefferson practice facility, in the weight room. Little Parker Jackson, the guy's put on 40 pounds since he got there just a year ago. Great hands defensively, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Brown with a strip. Here comes Singer. Cal down 4, inside 2 minutes to go in the half. Brown again attacking, and this time he gets the roll. Just his second field goal. He was 1 for 8 before that hoop. And Cal back within 2.
When you're Jaylen Brown, never stop shooting, never stop attacking. Jaylen Brown, one of his real mentors in life, is Isaiah Thomas, the one from Chicago, Indiana, and the Detroit Pistons, who got his graduate degree here.
Alley-oop to Anderson from Jackson Cartwright. Another great look by Jackson Cartwright.
It's one of the problems with the zone. First problem, you don't put pressure on the ball. Parker Jackson Cartwright will just cut you apart if you don't pressure his vision. And then the guy's sliding behind on the baseline for easy throwdowns.
Here's Singer driving, pulling up, and scoring off glass.
Sam Singer from Miami, Ransom Everglades High school teammate of Alonzo Mourning's son. Just a gym rat, loves to play, and now he's got his golden opportunity. The golden road to unlimited devotion. Here we go, Berkeley.
Shot clock down to 10. Anderson back out to Jackson Cartwright. Deep three-point try, good for York.
How fantastic is this? This crowd is so electric tonight. And then they just get pushed right back down. And now, Gonzo Martin needs a timeout. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to take a breath, please. Save me from myself.
First three for Arizona. I thought you were taking a breath.
Whoa. Father, why can't we have DirecTV like the McGregors do?
We're settlers, son. We settle for things, like having cable instead of DirecTV.
Hey, Jebediah, how's it going?
Working the land, hoping for a fertile spring.
All right.
So, we have to live with lower customer satisfaction?
I'm afraid so. Now, go churn us some butter, boy, and then make your own clothes.
Yes, sir.
Don't be a settler. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Arizona has made 6 of its last 8 shots because they're getting good looks.
Over the top against the zone, Ryan Anderson, the beautiful vision. Notice how Parker Jackson Cartwright is involved in every one of these. The quick release by Gabe York, the best release in the entire Conference of Champions.
Although Matthews is pretty good too from out there as he hits a 3 to end the first half.
Whoa, put this game in the Bancroft Library right now. Or maybe in the new Arts Center, opening on Center Street in Berkeley next month. Yeah, Conference of Champions. This is what we live for.
Matthews and York going toe-to-toe from downtown. 2-point Arizona lead. The Jeep halftime report with Adnan and LaFonso.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. It is indeed the Jeep halftime report. Let's kick it off with what's happening over on ABC. That's right, the debut of NBA basketball primetime on a Saturday night. Tyronn Lue is now the man in charge in Cleveland. Kyrie Irving here makes his coach look good.
Doing what we thought they were going to do tonight, coming out energized. Kyrie Irving stepping in the pass lane, nice finish in transition.
However, Pau Gasol would respond as the Bulls went up by a couple. Then LeBron, great feed to Kevin Love.
His vision, extraordinary.
Later in the second, Chicago's up by 1. Taj Gibson as the Bulls are hanging around.
I tell you what, Taj has been unbelievable over the course of his career. Mr. Dependable for the Bulls.
The Bulls are now up by 7. 5 minutes left. Once again, it's over on ABC. College game day was from East Lansing, Michigan State, Maryland. Mello Trimble on the break. Great finish right here.
When he gets ahead of steam, it is nearly impossible to stop him from getting to the rack.
Off the inbound, Denzel Valentine. Long pass to Matt Costello, who throws it down. Second half, Valentine drives and finishes.
Is there anything that Denzel Valentine can't do on the floor?
He gets called Denzel Washington every day, as we learned today in his interview with Jay Billis. Rather, it's Bryn Forbes, 9-point game.
I thought he was exceptional in the first half, aggressively hunting and shot.
Last chance for Maryland with a block by Costello as Michigan State triumphant in this one.
Hey, listen, fellas, we back, baby. Let's get this streak going, all right? Natty on 3, 1, 2, 3. Natty!
So the Spartans snapping a 3-game losing streak, and also they had lost back-to-back games at home. The question now becomes, though, Fonz, for those that were saying, no need to worry, they'd been injured, a little banged up, Tum Tum and Denzel, like yourself. Now do you feel like Michigan State is going to go on a run and start to prove they are the upper echelon in the Big Ten?
Tonight gives them an opportunity to do just that, to get a win against Maryland the way they did. They were able to get on that offensive glass, and I thought coming into the game tonight, they had to get some run support from the perimeter. Bryn Forbes was outstanding in this game, and I love how Michigan State came out and ran plays for him. He's a catch-and-shoot kind of guy who's improved his game by being able to put it down. But when they needed big buckets, they were able to get it to Bryn Forbes. He did an excellent job of running off of screens, particularly those baseline screens, played with a lot of confidence tonight, and I felt he was the difference in the game tonight. Bryn Forbes, 25 huge points for Sparty tonight.
And I'll say this, in defense of Maryland, Melo Trimble, 24 points. He was fantastic, but Rasheed Suleiman just 8 points, 2 of 11 as he struggled from the field against that Spartans defense. Still to come here on the Jeep Halftime Report. Plenty more to talk about, including some top plays of the day. Fonz and I were here all day marveling at all of it. In case you missed it, you won't miss anything after this.
This Halftime Report is presented by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Be ready for anything winter throws at you.
Experts choose Goodyear. And everything we learn making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
Duke may be young, but boy, do they play like the big men on campus. There is nothing like Cameron in.
Purple Devil makes no sense.
So, you want to change the world? Oh, and one more thing.
What we are here for, what we are fighting on, here in this daydream. I see you too. What we are here for, what were we waiting on, here in the space I'll call on you.
This mountain don't come free. We gotta pay rent on it. Only our rent comes in blood.
Get them off that mountain.
They're a family. The harder we push, the tougher they are gonna get.
We must protect this land.
When you come up that mountain, you ain't coming back down alive.
Outsiders premieres this Tuesday on WGN America, Channel 307.
Welcome back to the Jeep Halftime Report.
Top plays from the day so far. Who loves a countdown? We do. Second overtime. Ball State's down 2 against Eastern Michigan. And it'll be Francis Kiapwe knocking down the 3 after what looked like a travel, Fonz.
Wow, put some keys in that car, but knock it down, kid.
Ball State, you know Letterman's going nuts right now. 88-87 the final. How about Vandy inbounding the ball? My guy, the Canadian, Jamal Murray, intercepting all the way for the flush.
I knew he could shoot the thing, but he was showing some, wow, little bounce on that play.
Great vision by Murray, turning the defense into offense for the Wildcats. Calipari loves it. Kentucky wins easily. West Virginia, Texas Tech. The Mountaineers taking on the Red Raiders. Look at Zach Smith.
Woo! Oh, sucky now. Look at the elevation. Levitation. Throw it down.
They're getting a little more after that. Great find by Tundrick Gotcher as West Virginia wins it, though, 80-76. Number 2, a double top play. Wayne Sheldon driving Prince Ebay. Huge rejection.
Prince Ebay, tell him to get that up out of here. That's how you treat guards when they come into our area.
I was going to say, smashing all the way to half court. Then Mason drives inside and sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
I'll tell you what, Prince Ebay showing what he's doing, what a big should do. Protect the yard.
He had 7 blocks. And top play of the day so far, Bryce Miller missing the jumper, but Tucker, amen.
Where did he come from? Take off, big fella.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me. He's fired up, going right into your living room.
That's fun.
Been fantastic basketball today. What's been your biggest takeaway from the day?
My biggest takeaway today is that Michigan State will be on that #1 line. I said before the season began that they were in my Final Four along with Maryland, North Carolina, and this is a team today that proved they deserve to be in that upper echelon, and I think they're just going to get better. Remember, folks, they've had 3 guys injured this year. Tum Nairn has been out. Gavin Schilling has been injured. And, of course, sensational Denzel Valentine has been out as well. Those guys are back. It's time to build chemistry. And if they can win one today against an unbelievable Maryland team, I think this is now they've set the stage for them to go on a long, long run. Watch out for Sparty.
Oh, man, one win can change a whole lot of things, right? Definite perspective. Although you never jumped off the wagon for Michigan State. You've been believing, like you said, all year long. Match of the game that you're currently watching, some high flying between Arizona and Cal there from Anderson. Lots more coming up. Jeep halftime right after this.
This just got interesting. Why pause to take a pill? Or stop to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is approved to treat both erectile dysfunction and the urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis and a $200 savings card.
When you're born in a place that took millions of years to form, you're inspired to cold age your beer, which, thankfully, takes less than 1,000,000 years. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
We are Pac-12 basketball. It took 100 years to build this house, and this year, we're going to bring the house down. From explosive backcourts to lockdown defenders, big men on the rise to perennial double-double threats. It's the deepest and most entertaining conference in nearly a decade. There will be extraordinary athleticism, there will be breakout stars, and there will be game-changing surprises. Pac-12 basketball, the Conference of Champions.
If you're trying to be a little better, things just got a whole lot better. Introducing entrees loaded with flavor, not calories. Applebee's Grill and Bar favorites made a little better for you. Featuring new dishes all under 650 calories and starting at just $9.99.
Red Bull gives you wings. But that's not really a secret anymore.
You put a spell on me. I feel like I fell in deep. Your taboo just tastes so sweet. Oh, come on to me. The voodoo that you do, oh, how do you do what you
do? Before the commissioner calls their name,
With the first pick,
they're already on stage. The NBA Draft's future are today's college hoops superstars. Green Room Guys, starting next week.
This halftime report is presented by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Be ready for anything winter throws at you.
Speaking of Green Room Guys, LaFonso Ellis was one, and so is Ben Simmons. LSU taking on Alabama. Nice moves here by Simmons.
Ben Simmons is terrific with his back to the basket, facing the basket, and excellent vision in transition.
Tim Quarterman, the lob to Simmons to the alley-oop as the Bayou Bengals are down by 1. Late second half, tied at 66. It's Reed Obasahan has to launch it from way downtown, and he hits it.
Ooh, that was from the next town over.
Woo, they're going wild in Tuscaloosa. 9 seconds left. The drive, but the miss of the top lay-in as LSU hangs on 72-70.
Wow, what a tremendous effort by LSU on the road.
Simmons once again, strong day, 23 points, 8 boards, and 5 assists. Number 1 Oklahoma and Buddy Hield taking on number 13 Baylor. Second half Sooners in the run, and Latin dishing to Hield, who will knock down the tray.
Buddy Hield, one of the best three-point shooters in the country. You must find him in transition.
Buddy Hield, named after Bud Bundy from Married with Children, we learned today, by the way.
Bud Bundy for 3!
The Sooners' lead expanded to 13, and Hield was not done yet. Dante Buford will find him. They were rolling in the second half.
Amazing effort. 16 of 28 from 3 today. Tremendous job by the Sooners.
They are the top three-point shooting team in the country. Bulls and Cavaliers over on ABC. Here's LeBron James with his new coach, Tyronn Lue, looking on.
That's just sick. To be able to do what he does at his size.
So sick, I've got LeBron-citis. Bulls have the 5-point lead at the half. This has been the Jeep Halftime Report. Dave Pasch, Bill Walton, second half coming up.
Not everyone wants to follow the crowd, especially when they have a truck capable of taking them farther. And that's exactly what Ram 1500 can do with the best fuel economy. It's this kind of leadership that has more people driving Ram trucks than ever before. Guts, glory, Ram.
Get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2016 Ram 1500. Hurry to your Ram dealer today.
There's a place where you really live, where you can do what you love to do. Whatever you do, get there with Continental Tires. And have the ultimate control with Continental's Sport Plus technology. Continental Tire, for what you do.
For our 100th anniversary, West Coast swagger will be on full display when the league descends on Las Vegas for the annual Pac-12 Men's Basketball Tournament. Under the bright lights of the MGM Grand Garden Arena, all 12 teams will stake their claim to the one and only Centennial Trophy. But in a league full of contenders, it'll take buzzer beaters and passionate home court pride to bring home the championship. Get your tickets now at pac-12.com/tickets.
Guys, the sign's working!
Get unlimited data when you have DirecTV and switch to AT&T Wireless. And now get $500 in credits for every line you switch.
Welcome to my house. Home court fans get too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go wild. Welcome to my house.
Arizona leading Cal 37-35. The Wildcats shooting 57% from the floor, and they have 26 second chance points, yet only a 2-point edge. Dave Pasch alongside Hall of Famer Bill Walton. And you know how Bill is always giving me gifts at halftime, whether it's cheese or cake or a book or my favorite bottle there. Well, it's my turn to give you something. As you know, tomorrow's the NFC Championship game.
What's the NFC?
I do the play-by-play for the Arizona Cardinals.
No fun conference?
Maybe you didn't know that since he asked if I have ever been to Tucson before, but the energy that you're bringing tonight, maybe it's because you're here in Berkeley, I'm not sure. The Cardinals need that energy. They need some of Bill Walton's energy, so I'm giving you an NFC West champion Cardinals hat for you to wear. I know you're not a big hat guy, because you always tell Luke to take it off for pictures, but wear it tomorrow to give the Cardinals some mojo against the
Cardinals.
Panthers.
That's Kurt Flood. That's Lou Brock. That's Bob Gibson, right?
Give me the hat back.
Cardinals. I got a present for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, one of my friends here brought it down tonight. The original Grateful Dead, Warner Brothers, Mo Austin. The Golden Road to Unlimited Devotion. That's what we want for you. On the backside, the flip side, cream puff war. Yeah, here we go. That's what we have here tonight.
So I get a record and I get my own hat back that you apparently don't want. Okay.
I'm keeping the record. I'm just like showing it to you and explaining the way to the future. The golden road to unlimited devotion through Kurt Flood, Lou Brock, and Bob Gibson.
Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald, Patrick Peterson, but that's all right.
Tim McGraw.
Back to the game, 37-35. Arizona on top as we start the second half.
And what a first half it was. Arizona shooting 57% against the best defense in the Conference of Champions.
Wow, they just got Kingsley Okoro for his 4th foul.
I don't get it. Please. We've got 20 minutes to history. We've got 20 minutes to define the future.
And the guy that's replacing him, Cameron Rooks, played for most of that first half with 3 fouls, and
Have you ever
he's
talked
got to come back.
Have you ever talked to Kingsley Okoro? He's like a fine English gentleman that comes from Derby, which is the heart and soul of the industrial machine that England used to be. But he's just such a kind, generous, and patient soul. And to have him with 4 fouls in the first play of the second half, please.
Here's a lob to Tarczewski, and it's broken up by Rooks. Rooks played a very solid first half with 5 rebounds, 3 offensive boards, and 2 steals.
Stick a fork in it, Caleb, please. You're too good a player.
Jaylen Brown, the leading scorer for Cal with 8. Jordan Matthews also 8. Ryan Anderson 10 to top Arizona. Here's a 3-pointer that's good. Jabari Bird from outside, just the 3rd 3 for Cal in the game, and the Bears have the lead.
Great defense, Sam Singer. Cat, Arizona is totally used to playing in this environment.
Off the hands of Anderson, out of bounds, a turnover by Sean Miller's squad.
But Sean Miller, the patience of a saint of circumstance here. Beautiful ball movement, Jaylen Brown on top of it. He sees the play before anybody else does. One of the greatest athletes ever, Joe Montana, lives here in the Bay Area still to this day. That was his greatest skill.
So you were faking it before when you said you didn't know anything about football, apparently. Is that is out of bounds off of Cal?
No, big day tomorrow. I'll be watching.
Cal with the lead for the first time since it was 5-4.
So every player who's taken a shot in this game has at least one made basket. This is excellent. This is what you live for as a fan, as a player, as a coach.
Good play by Rooks again. Got a hand in the passing lane. And now Bird through the paint, finds Brown for 3. And Brown was fouled. He'll shoot 3. That was way off. And a late whistle.
It's because he got fouled.
It looked like it was well after the release, though, that Kadeem Allen hit him. Well,
have you heard of the importance of follow-through?
Yeah, you got him there. Yep, on the hand.
On the hand? Okay, so the next time, what do you like to do in your life?
Well, they both fell down, but I don't think that's where they called the foul. I think they called it on the follow-through, on
so
the hand.
So the next time you're shooting a basket, I want you to have some guy run full speed at you and just knock you over as you're landing on the ground and see if your jumper goes in. That's why they call that foul, please. But
You've been wanting to do that for 4 years to me.
No, I've had that done to me. So Jaylen Brown, who is one of those exquisite personalities. And you look at him, you never really get to hear him talk because he's a college student, right? But he is so well-spoken and so intelligent and so thoughtful. He takes graduate school courses. Right now he's taking a Spanish course. He wants to learn to be fluent in Spanish. Taking an international business course that Isaiah Thomas recommended that he take. Absolutely legendary professor here, Steve Etter. Yeah, Berkeley, education, academic, sports, basketball. Let's go.
Timeout, Arizona.
Rocket Spurs at 8, Mavs Warriors at 10:30. Wednesday on ESPN.
Ram's continued leadership is eye-opening, like Ram 3500 with the best towing, best torque, the best payload, and Ram 1500 with the best fuel economy. It's no wonder more people are driving Ram trucks than ever before. Guts, glory, Ram.
Get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2016 Ram 1500. Hurry to your Ram dealer today.
This mountain doesn't own a watch. It's not in a hurry to get where it's going. And yet, after millions of years, it has arrived. It's what inspired us to cold age our beer, which, thankfully, takes a little less than 1,000,000 years. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
Ever since we created the 4 for $4 meal, we've seen your posts, we've read your tweets, we've liked your likes, so we're keeping 4 for $4 going with a Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, nuggets, fries, and a Coke for just $4. It's the best way to get more for 4, now at Wendy's.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah?
We've got Allstate, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Well, I found this new thing called
Allstate Quick Photo Claim.
It's an app. You understand that? Just take photos of the damage with your phone and upload them to Allstate.
Really?
So you get a
quicker estimate, quicker payment,
quicker back to normal.
I just did it. But maybe you can find an app that will help you explain this to your father.
Quick Photo Claims. Just another way Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Experts choose Goodyear. And everything we learn making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
Tuesday at ESPN, as Bill stands with the Bear, at least one of you shaved for the telecast. Indiana, Wisconsin at 7, followed by Georgia and LSU. It's Super Tuesday presented by Hotels.com. Another opportunity to see Tigers standout Ben Simmons, who's #1 on Chad Sport, top 10 collegiate prospects. 2 players from this game, Ivan Rabb and Jaylen Brown in that top 10, and 3 from the Pac-12, including Jakob Poeltl at #6.
Are you old enough to remember when the best players were determined by who won the games? Beautiful drive by Ryan Anderson, but Ivan Rabb just so strong defensively.
And then Jaylen Brown is fouled by York. No basket. Wave it off. Second foul on York.
I love the way Jaylen Brown is playing tonight. He is. You ever been down to the gym to play pickup basketball, where you have to win to stay on the court? And you just like say, okay, I'm going to take over here.
So are you
I'm going to get all the rebounds. I'm going to get all the block shots. I'm going to make all the passes, score all the points. I'm going to sit there and wait for somebody to call a play for me.
So are you saying that Ben Simmons is not the best prospect in college basketball?
I have no idea. I'm a Conference of Champions guy. What's their record? Are they 500?
You haven't watched Ben Simmons from LSU?
I work every night, every day. Please.
They have this thing called SportsCenter.
Some of us have jobs.
And your phone that gives highlights of the ESPN app. Forget it. Here's Jaylen Brown, 2 for 10 from the floor.
So I was with Guy Kawasaki yesterday. Oh man, he was just one of the original Apple guys. He was just.
Brown lost the ball. Hold the Guy Kawasaki comment here as York drives, and the rejection by Brown. That gets the fans on their feet here.
In transition, Gabe York coming right at you. Sam Singer does it all. You cannot play better defense than Sam Singer did right there, allowing his teammate Jaylen Brown to come. And now this crowd ready to storm the court, which I hope they don't do.
Turnover by Arizona. It's a sold-out crowd, a gold out. The first 11,000 fans here tonight got a free gold T-shirt. And you got a free hat, which you're wearing, by the way, which I appreciate.
I love my present day. Thank you. I'm touched. I'm moved.
5-0 run to start the second half. 8-0 for Cal going back to the end of the first half. It's a 3-point Bears lead. 3 minutes gone by. Matthew sweeping through the lane. Couldn't get that one to go.
Ryan Anderson just so strong on the defensive glass.
Kadeem Allen. And no basket. Another foul on the floor on California. That's the second team foul on the Bears here in the half. They're going to get Ivan Rabb for the personal. His first. He's been quiet, just 4 points and 2 rebounds in the game.
This is where Ivan Rabb has to unleash his inner spirit. I mean, he's got it. This guy's got so much star power. But stars play their best in the biggest of games. Offensive foul here.
So another turnover by Arizona. This is York, his 3rd personal foul.
Sean Miller just beside himself here.
299 career wins for Sean Miller entering tonight, including 5 years at Xavier. He's in year 7 at Arizona as one of the officials telling Sean to step back from being on the floor. Mark A. Beasley, the official, asking Sean not to step over that coach's line and to get back to his spot.
Does that really matter? Please. The guy's doing a fine job. The guy's got a winning percentage in the Conference of Champions.
Three-pointer, good for Baird. A second three from that left wing here in the second half.
Remember when Dwight Talwater made that game winner against UCLA here last year?
That's 11 straight points for Cal going back to the first half. Arizona has not scored since intermission.
Please, you got to speak up. What'd you say? I'm going to have to get Fang, my buddy Fang, to translate there. The penetration to the free throw line. Spectacular theory of how you're going to play. Draw three defenders, get Caleb to turn his back. You got Jabari Bird, whose dad was a prison guard at San Quentin across the bay over there in Marin County for 27 years. Now he's knocking down three-pointers.
His dad, Carl, played at Cal in the 70s. This is a first. Bill is wearing a hat.
Indoors.
And your guy's behind you here, too, by the way.
Fang. Yeah, no, I was with Fang on New Year's Eve. He was there. Where were you? You were invited.
I've learned to stay on holidays, especially New Year's Eve, as far away from you as possible.
That's a mistake. Because you never know what's going to happen. And that's why we go. And that's why we come to Berkeley. And great things are happening here right now.
This half, Arizona with 7 possessions and 5 turnovers, and they've been arguably the best offensive team in the Pac-12 this year. They're in the top 25 in both scoring and field goal percentage nationally. Almost another Wildcat turnover. They had to let it fly. 1 on the shot clock. York gets it away. It's good! Oh, they wave it off.
Wow.
They wave it off. It's a shot clock violation. Sean Miller pointing to the monitor saying, go look at it, Tony Padilla. I thought they got it right on the floor. I thought it was in his hand. And again, Arizona's still without a point since late in the first half.
You ever seen a bear and a cat fight? Where the cat has to come in and just scratch and claw and then hit and run, bob and weave. Conzo Martin, he's a boxer. That's what he loves to do. He loves to hit the heavy bag.
And they just had replay confirm that it was still in his hand when the clock hit 0, so it's a shot clock violation.
But you certainly cannot go by hearing the buzzer, because there's no way you can hear a thing in here. So in the old days, when the calls would go against the Bears here in this building, Haas Pavilion, the fans would throw dead fish onto the floor.
Here's Bird for 3. He hit 2 from the left side, now missing 1 from the right wing. He's been hot the last 3 games, 27 points in his last 2 coming into tonight as Arizona finally gets a basket here in the second half, and it'll be a 3-point opportunity for Gabe York.
Establish yourself. I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. You can't wait until all these minutes have gone by.
Everything you can watch on ESPN, you can now stream live on the ESPN app.
Yo.
We have taken 2 things you love. We have made them 1 thing you love.
What did he say? Live games and shows on the app?
Watch on television, right in the ESPN. The future is live, and it's in your pocket.
Indulgence no longer comes at a price. Well, actually it does, but it's just $9.99. New Hot Shot Whiskey Chicken, Applebee's Grill and Bar favorites made a little better for you. Featuring new dishes loaded with flavor and all under 650 calories.
Cheez-It Grooves are the perfect union of a Cheez-It and a chip.
You mean like they got married?
I guess.
You'd make a pretty bride in that wedding gown.
It's a lab coat.
Hey, everyone, Joe's getting married.
I am not.
We take time for our cheese to mature in our crispy Cheez-It Grooves.
Not everyone wants to follow the crowd, especially when they have a truck capable of taking them farther. And that's exactly what Ram 1500 can do with the best fuel economy. It's this kind of leadership that has more people driving Ram trucks than ever before. Guts, glory, Ram.
Get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2016 Ram 1500. Hurry to your Ram dealer today.
How do I know I'm getting the best price on this?
We'll match any competitor's price.
What about this?
Price match guarantee.
And this?
Yep.
So no monkey business? No tomfoolery?
Oh, we do have tomfoolery. Tom?
Staples has a price match guarantee. Make low prices happen. Staples, make more happen.
Thanks for doing this, Dad.
So I thought it might be time to talk about a financial strategy.
You mean pay him back?
So let's start talking about your long-term goals.
Knowing your future is about more than just you. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
It's my home court week on ESPN, so let's focus on Berkeley. And where the Cal Bears used to play, Harmon Gym from 1959 to 1997. Won an NIT championship, 59 with Pete Newell. And now here at Haas Pavilion this year, they are perfect 12-0. And they're holding teams to 35% shooting from the floor. And right now, defensively, they are stifling Arizona. They got a 4-point lead, and the Wildcats have just 2 points since halftime.
See, for you young guys, this is the same building. They just redid it. And then the Haas family, the Levi family, the Strauss family, the Goldman family, Douglas is sitting right over here. They've just poured all this money into making this place a spectacular temple, a place of worship, a shrine, a mecca, a place to come, and now hometown players. So guys like Aaron Gordon and Brandon Ashley, who used to leave, now they're staying here and playing for Conzo Martin. Yes, now that's a play right there.
Brown with his third field goal. He has been aggressive offensively throughout the night. He's been to the line 9 times. Meanwhile, look at the 9 possessions in the first half for Arizona. They have just 3 points to show for it. And another empty trip here as York can't finish.
Who's the leader for Arizona?
Matthews 3. Good!
Are you old enough to remember the first half of this game?
It was a lot different, wasn't it?
Remember when you were complaining about me saying, let it fly, let it go? This is how you play basketball.
I don't remember that. Ristich gets the roll.
And so when you're trying to quiet this crowd, you've got to have somebody who just is going to stand up and say, yeah, I'm going to determine the terms of this conflict here. Right now, nobody is doing that for Sean Miller. And Sean Miller, he owns California. He owns the recruiting wars. He owns the victories. They've won 4 straight against the Berkeley Bears.
Yeah, their last loss was when they were ranked number 1 2 years ago. Matthews again with another 3. He struggled early on from downtown, but he is now 4 of 8, making his last 3 3-point attempts. The Bears had their largest lead of the night.
So this is style. This is theory. This is culture. Changing for the Bears in front of our eyes.
And a foul called on Matthews.
Please. Little tiny guy working his way to the lane after 30 incessant dribbles and then jumping in to a guy who's got his hands straight up, and that's a foul? Let me clean my Maui Jim glasses here, please.
Second foul on Matthews, and so Jackson Cartwright to the line. By the way, Cameron Rooks is on the floor with 4 fouls. Kingsley Okoro on the bench with 4.
So if you're Arizona, just keep pounding it inside. Stay to your game. But the assertive nature of Cal's defense, well, what a completely different team than I saw 10 days ago up at Oregon State, when they just got pummeled.
Well, they got a young team. We had the Oregon game, too, where they really struggled offensively. They're up and down. They got 6 losses on the season.
I tell you, the scene down behind the basket, the guy's trying to shoot his free throws with all the visual effects. Looks like what Fang and I were doing on New Year's Eve.
Did you see that one game where at the student section, they were pretending like they were giving birth in the student section? I forgot you don't watch Sports Center, but it was pretty funny.
No, I do. I love Sports Center. What's the guy who's on late at night now from Bristol? Oh, yeah, that's Scott, SVP.
Scott Van Pelt, yes, who loves your show, by the way.
Neil Everett. There's a Conference of Champions guy.
Scott went to Maryland, but
Neil went to Oregon.
No, Scott's still a big fan of yours. Shot clock at 5. Rooks trying to get the handle. Timer at 2. Rooks, and it won't rattle home. Battered around and into the arms of Anderson.
push the ball. P.J. Parker. P.J.C., excuse me.
Allen for three. Kadeem Allen shooting 55% from three in conference action. Gets the Wildcats back within 4.
So now they go the small lineup here. Allen, Gabe York, Little Parker out in front. Get some offense going. Wasn't happening for hometown boy Mark Tollefson today. He's been their best player of late.
An empty possession there for Cal. Singer couldn't get it to go, then it was knocked out of bounds by the Bears. Coming up Monday, big Monday with Duke, Miami at 7 in the ACC, and then Kansas, Iowa State at 9. Will be number 1. Oklahoma is number 1 right now, but lost this week to Iowa State. The Sooners, though, still may be number 1 when the new poll comes out. Brooks goes to the bench with 4 fouls.
Why do you say they'd still be number 1 if they lost?
Well, they had a big win today, and as the ball is loosened into the arms of Ivan Rabb, I think right now they're the best team, Oklahoma. And everybody's got a loss. As Anderson may have traveled. Jackson Cartwright lost it, but they're going to say it was last touched by Jaylen Brown.
This crowd. My goodness gracious.
So you don't think Oklahoma should be number 1? Do you think North Carolina is the best team?
I'm a conference of champions guy. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on the other teams. I don't study them. I watch the conference of champions. I want to see the rivers flow. I want to see the mountains covered with snow. I want to see rainbows and volcanoes.
Anderson, a great putback, as that was right in the view of Ivan Rabb. It looked like he was going to get the rebound, and Anderson just took it away from him, and it's a 7-0 Wildcat run.
I went to a truck stop once, and it wasn't for me. Give me this. Give me Berkeley. Give me Tucson.
Bird for 3, short, and rebounded by Brown, and he's fouled. 11:41 to play. Cal leading by 2 because of three-point shooting by Jordan Matthews.
I don't care what your stats say. My eyes tell me that Jaylen Brown is the best player in this game.
You've been planning it for months. So a sudden snowfall isn't gonna stop you. Because your Mazda's all-wheel drive can predict and adapt to changing road conditions. So even if you aren't ready for the unpredictable, your car is. Mazda's predictive iActive all-wheel drive.
West Coast ball, 100 years of grit and glory. Wildcats eye, back-to-back reign. Love to hate, now the chosen one for Arizona State. Don't try running from the Utes. No doubt, can't crowd the Buffs out. Upset City, UCLA, a Trojan block party every day. Cal, best incoming class. Cardinal rule, play with heart. Look good, play better. Oregon, yellow. Unless Beaver Nation steals the show. Bow down to UW, Zoo Crews turned up. On the court, 5 become 1. And it's here, the West is won.
Oh, look. My phone is blowing up.
Mobile Strike. Download and play now, free from the App Store.
There is cash all around you. People are nearby and want to pay for the things you don't use. Wallapop is the free app that makes it simple to sell anything locally. Just download the app for free, grab a picture, give your price, and make extra cash. Simple as that. Plus, Wallapop users have profiles and receive reviews, so you'll always know just who you're dealing with. Make some space and earn some cash. Start selling for free. Download the free Wallapop app right now.
Adnan Virk back in our college basketball studios reminding you it's Saturday primetime NBA action on ABC. LeBron James, 10 points, 9 boards, 8 assists, and 5 of 17 shooting. The debut of Tyronn Lue once again over on ABC. Back to more waxing poetic with the Conference of Champions. Dave Pasch and Bill Walton.
Don't you start, Adnan. He said that enough to last a lifetime tonight. Cal leading Arizona by 2. 7-0 run by the Wildcats. But how about the Bears from three-point land getting it going here in the second half?
the style of how you're going to play. Get into the paint. Arizona will collapse. You've got great three-point shooters, but they need wide open looks. Between Jordan Matthews, between Jabari Bird, neither one of those guys can create their own shot. The guy that can create is Jaylen Brown. Get him the ball. Get the ball in Sam Singer's hand. Have finishers and have creators.
Cal is 4 of its last 7 from 3. Arizona still dominating the paint with 30 points in the lane. And it's a 2-point contest. Here's Matthews from 2-point range. That's 16 points now for Jordan Matthews to lead all scorers.
I mean, this is a big-time score. A year ago, he had 32 points in one game against Oregon.
Tollefson off the mark. That is the first shot attempt for Mark Tollefson, who scored in double figures in each of his last 3 games. Reb got possession, finishes, and a foul.
Beautiful post feeding. Caleb Tarczewski behind the play, but with Ivan Rabb playing in front of his dad, his entire high school team. He was in high school a year ago this time. They're all here today. Their coach, Lou Ritchie, been the coach at Bishop O'Dowd High School for 15 years. Before the game, he was telling us how this guy, Ivan Rabb, just an absolutely fantastic pupil. Someone who just is dying to learn. He listens, comprehends things, and one day he'll make free throws.
So what is the best advice Bill Walton, Hall of Fame, one of the greatest college basketball players of all time, NBA MVP, that you can give a young big? What's the #1 thing you tell him?
Play for fun. And shoot every time you get the ball. And it's about offense.
York missing and a foul underneath on Arizona.
And become a complete ball player. And use basketball to make a better life for yourself. Don't let basketball use you. And when the game starts, don't look over at the sideline.
Both these teams playing without one of their key players. Tyrone Wallace for Cal, Alonzo Trier for Arizona, both out with a broken bone in their right hand. Both expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks.
That's a huge check there.
Missing Anderson with a rebound. It's possible that Trier, as you look at Wallace, Trier could actually be back in a couple of weeks. He's been shooting a little bit.
Oh, wow, what a great drive.
And for Wallace, the injury is just to his non-shooting hand.
They'll be back when they're back. You can't predict health. Ask Steve Kerr about that.
Timeout, California, as Brown got possession and called a timeout. Remember, the head coach can't call timeout anymore. It's a 30-second timeout.
This guy, Alonzo Trier, can really play, as can Ray Smith. Both of them out right now. Ray Smith out for the year. And then Cal's got a really promising freshman.
Boy, that was really interesting. Konzo Martin was signaling for the timeout. The officials gave it to him, but it's got to be the player that does it now. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's talk about the coaches. When I was in high school, I became the only player in the history of our country to ever make the U.S. national team. We had the worst coach I ever had. He was just absolutely a disgrace to humanity. We decided, we didn't win the championship, we didn't win the gold medal. Years later, we decided, all the players who remained close over all these years, this is 46 years now, we came to the unanimous conclusion that if we didn't have a coach, we would have won. You got to be able to play. The coaches teach you how to play. But it's not like the conductor. Oh,
beautiful move by Jaylen Brown. His 4th basket. He has 14 points. It's back to an 8-point lead for Cal.
That is a world champion move right there against a fantastic defensive team.
Brown has been so aggressive in this game. Ristic underneath. Kind of a strange play. That was an alley-oop, but Ristic waited for it to come down, and then a Cal foul is called.
Jaylen Brown just whirling dervish to the hoop, and quickness freezing the defender, because he knows that all these guys, he knows that Caleb's coming, he knows that Deuce is coming.
Brown, a freshman from Marietta, Georgia. Wheeler High School, the same school that produced former Cal Bear Sharif Abdur-Rahim. And that's one of the reasons why Brown came to Cal. You talked about him earlier. He's a terrific student. He was running the chess club in high school as well.
I love that visual in the background. Wow. That just lines it all up. This crowd has come to play today.
Although, don't you think they'll even though some of the antics we've seen this year are terrific, that still the curtain of distraction at Arizona State is the best.
You're of that generation where you have to rank everything. Don't rank, rate, or compare. Just enjoy it. Okay?
I'm going to sleep well in that red eye. 9.5 to go here in the second half. Brown with a kick out. Matthews got the defender off his feet. Hits another three. His 5th triple. Great response by Cal after Arizona made a 7-0 run, and then Ristic comes right back and scores on the low block.
A hugely proficient offensive move by Deuce Ristic, who a year ago, he would have just collapsed under the size and strength of big Kingsley Okoro.
Interesting lineup that they have out there right now with both Ristic and Tarczewski, Allen,
They've been
York,
doing that more.
and Justin Simon, freshman from Temecula.
I think it's a great lineup for Sean Miller.
Here's Matthews with a timer at 5. Matthews lets it fly. It's too strong. Long rebound for Rab and a reset.
Okay, you got a side there. Take him right there.
Brown electing to pull it out instead of driving on Justin Simon.
But that's good because now you get the crowd to regroup and just surge back, and you make the other team play a full minute of concentrated defense.
Here's Brown sizing up the defender. He'll try a 3. This one spins out. He's 0 for 4 from behind the arc.
Keep shooting. Justin Simon, a tremendous defensive prospect who's just coming into his own on the offensive end. Number 3 with the ball right there.
Here's Kadeem Allen into the paint.
Give it to Deuce again. I don't understand this. Something works, and you don't come back to it.
And Okoro's got 4 fouls. Timers at 3. York 4-3. Tarczewski with the offensive rebound. And then he lost it. Turned it over. Sean Miller saying there should be a foul call. There's a disagreement between the officials. One official said there was a foul. The other said it was out of bounds off of Tarczewski.
Arizona's in trouble.
Sean Miller saying that should be our ball. Instead, we'll take a break. Walton's World is next.
When we launched the new Wendy's 4-for-4 meal, people really thought it was a big deal. With a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4 nuggets, fries, and a Coke, who wouldn't like this? Maybe her. We kind of stole the thunder from her engagement photo.
That's rude.
Sorry.
The Wendy's 4-for-4 meal. It's bigger than we thought.
You've been planning it for months. So a sudden snowfall isn't gonna stop you. Because your Mazda's all-wheel drive can predict and adapt to changing road conditions. So even if you aren't ready for the unpredictable, your car is. Mazda's predictive iActive all-wheel drive.
It seems like every financial company talks about investing your way to wealth. But what about protecting what you're building right now? At Northwestern Mutual, we know the importance of doing both. We combine personalized investment solutions that help grow your wealth with world-class insurance that protects what matters most to you. This whole picture approach is just one of the reasons 96% of our clients stay with us year after year. At Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently.
Experts choose Goodyear. And everything we learn making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
Berkeley, Conference of Champions, University of California, where brains and athletics come together by the numbers. 29 former Nobel Prize winners, 7 on the current faculty, 4 Pulitzer Prize winners, Fields Medal winners, discoveries, earthquake science, microscopic motors, photosynthesis, vitamin K, lots of vitamins here in Berkeley. Yeah. They have the only place where the Nobel laureates, the active ones, they get their own parking spot. And one of them, he loves to ride his bike. I love my bike. And to be able to ride in these Berkeley hills, be able to ride up Bancroft Street, Channing, Dwight, all these fantastic places. And what's going on here, the current faculty, the Nobel laureates at California, these are all the places where they just dominate the world. Chemistry, environmental ecologic science, math, physics, biology, biochemistry, engineering, plant science, animal sciences, space exploration. My favorite.
Great information if you're ever on Jeopardy as Anderson misses, but he's fouled. They did during the break decide that it was Arizona ball. It was initially ruled to be Cal ball, but they changed the call. Sean Miller was really upset.
So the University of California, they have more patents than any other school. Now, granted, that covers UCLA, UC San Diego, UC Davis, all the other great schools, the 11 University of California campuses. There's that big patent fight that's just coming down to a head right now between the science of genetic editing here, between University of California, Berkeley, MIT, billions of dollars at stake here, and that's going to really come down to a governmental ruling here as to who was first and who was first to implement it.
Meanwhile, Ryan Anderson, 4 of 6 at the line. Arizona back within 5, 7:15 to go in the second half. The Wildcats tied for second in the Pac-12 at 4-2. A game back of Washington. They're the only team to beat Washington in the league. Ivan Rabb with the bucket. That's his 4th field goal.
The best individual play I've seen Ivan Rabb make in his college career.
Really?
You go head-to-head against Tarzewski and make that shot. When that becomes automatic for him, there will be no stopping this young man.
Here comes the double team on Anderson. They didn't reverse it, though. Shot clock at 7. Here is York. Okoro has to be careful because he's got 5 fouls, and York with a pretty move along the baseline.
Gabe York dancing like Steph Curry, just floating over the court. Nobody for Arizona, though, is playing really well. And they're playing hard and they're playing smart, but nobody's got a real game going the way that Jaylen Brown has a game, the way that Sam Singer, the way that Bird. Oh, Ivan Rabb almost back-to-back jumpers in the big man's face.
Anderson with the rebound. So what has to change for Arizona offensively? They've been scoring 90 per game in Pac-12 action.
The type of shots they're getting. They don't have the individual creator. They need to move quicker without the ball. Their off-the-ball cuts, change of pace, change of direction, and then get in the lane and kick it out to a wide-open spot-up shooter, like a Gabe York, like a Tollefson right here.
Tollefson with 3 on the shot clock, and he still is without a point in this game. And boy, 2 guys hit the floor hard, both going for the ball. A held ball is the ruling, and so it will go to the Bears.
Tough to see Mark Tollefson struggle today. The guy is just so good. He's just been on fire. The jump ball there, 2 guys. Caleb should be a little bit more out on the floor. When you find yourself jumping up for rebounds instead of jumping forward for rebounds, you're too deep under the basket.
Cal at 13-6, 3-3 in league play. There are 8 teams within 2 games of first place in the Pac-12. Right now, Joe Lunardi, the latest ESPN bracketology, has 8 Pac-12 teams in, including UCLA, despite that loss for the Bruins today against Oregon.
How often does Joe Lunardi do that?
Well, he did it right before the night games tipped off, so that included UCLA's loss. As York fires, off target on the 3. Tarzewski, though, with a strong rebound. Couldn't get the stick back, but he was fouled by Ivan Rabb. His 4th. So you got Rooks, Okoro, and Rabb, all of the bigs for Cal with 4 fouls apiece.
And that's what Arizona basketball is about. Just keep pounding away. They haven't played that well. Tarzewski, 4th best free throw shooter in the conference. Not 4th best big man free throw shooter, 4th best overall. This guy is an absolute genius, smart as can be, fit as can be, and just playing better than he ever has. The injury shockingly helped him.
Why do you say that?
Calmed him down. He's so smart.
Was he pressing too much before?
He was trying to do too much. And he's not one of those guys who played a lot of basketball as a little tiny guy to where he can come out and be that lead guy. I mean, the greatest of the greats, Kareem, Kareem would have been a fantastic basketball player at 6'2". He would have been a Hall of Famer at 6'2", and except he's 7'2". And so he becomes, without question, the greatest player I ever played against, greatest player in the history of college basketball, and one of the two guys who can make the legitimate analytical claim that he's one of the two greatest players ever.
Who would be the other?
Bill Russell, traveling violation.
No, they're going to call a foul on York, and that's 4 on Gabe York.
Okay, so if you're going to have a measurement, you measure on winning and statistics, and that's Bill Russell, and that's Kareem.
I love how you're ripping me about ranking everything. And
no, I said if you're going to rank them by statistics.
Sports Center at night on ESPN following our game. That's John Buccigross
I know
and Steve
those two
Levy.
guys. That's John and Steve.
Yes.
There's Levy's Lounge, right?
How come you haven't been in the Levy Lounge? I'm surprised you have not been invited.
I'm staying in Berkeley.
Matthews gets the free
I'm
throw.
staying in the Conference of Champions. This California.
You know, they do have Sports Center in LA.
Not knocking on the golden door. You saw that poster. That's what I love.
So Anderson goes to the bench with Arizona down 4. You're right, though. The Wildcats have not played well offensively, yet they're only down 4 points to a Cal team that's shooting 50% from the field. Matthews now with 21 points in the game, the most for either team.
I'm going to give the credit to Cal's defense. They have forced Arizona to play a grinded-out game.
Tollefson finally on the board, his first basket of the night, and it's a 3. He shoots 40% from behind the arc. That's his 20th made triple this season.
He wears number 23 in honor of his favorite, Michael Jordan. His shot is so reminiscent of Manu Ginobili, who he idolizes as a left-handed player. And when you watch him shoot time and time again, you see Manu's shot in that young man, Mark Tollefson.
Where you were born says a lot about who you are. This place says cold and refreshing. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
If you're trying to be a little better, things just got a whole lot better. Introducing entrees loaded with flavor, not calories. Applebee's Grill and Bar favorites made a little better for you. Featuring new dishes, all under 650 calories and starting at just $9.99.
You've been planning it for months. So a sudden snowfall isn't gonna stop you. Because your Mazda's all-wheel drive can predict and adapt to changing road conditions. So even if you aren't ready for the unpredictable, your car is. Mazda's predictive iActive all-wheel drive.
You know, Viagra helps guys with erectile dysfunction get and keep an erection. Talk to your doctor about Viagra.
Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain or Adempas for pulmonary hypertension. Your blood pressure could drop to an unsafe level. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Justice Winslow! Order in the court, Butchie. Justice is served.
Hey, can you send Justice a text?
Sure, Poppy.
Just tell him he's jumping like crazy and playing great D. I'm proud of him.
He says thanks.
That's nice.
I hope my golf ball doesn't get lost in his hair, because that's going to be a tough lie. What a salad on Justice Winslow.
Adnan Burke back in our college basketball studios. The Bulls are now leading the Cavaliers 72-58 for the head coaching debut of Tyronn Lue with Cleveland. Pau Gasol, by the way, 19 points, 10 boards, 6 assists. He's been great. Sports Center after the game. You know those hosts, Levy and Bucci. I know Bill Walton knows them too. Dave, back to you.
All right, Adnan, and we got big Monday for you with Duke Miami at 7, followed by Kansas and Iowa State at 9. The Blue Devils won today against NC State, ending a 3-game losing streak.
How about Iowa State able to survive the loss of Fred Hoiberg? I mean, you change coaches and still keep it going big time.
Here's some of our college basketball storylines. SMU still unbeaten at 18-0. How about the UConn women? 55 in a row. We talked about Duke's struggles, but a win today. Longest active streak of consecutive appearances in the top 25.
Still a year and a couple weeks away from matching UCLA's record. Yeah, but when you can't even get the ball in bounds after a timeout, please. But let's talk about Tollefson for a second here.
And by the way, that's the last timeout for Cal. They had to burn their final timeout of the game.
Wow. Arizona, they never get away from their game plan. But this guy Tollefson, who's since Alonzo Trier went out, I mean, Arizona's had to reinvent themselves so many times. Trier goes out. Ray Smith doesn't play all year. So Tollefson gets a chance. The last 3 games as a starter, 69% shooting, 75% on threes, and 80% from the free throw line. This guy's got a game. But they've taken Arizona out of their game. And Arizona has not been able to have that one guy who's just like Jaylen Brown, who's taken it on his own. And that's why offense wins championships. So you have this situation here tonight where Arizona is trying desperately to break free of this clinging, clawing, powerful Bear defense here. When you're a cat, you gotta scratch, you gotta claw, you gotta punch, fight back, and then move. And Arizona's not doing that. You're Dave, right?
What happened to the Cardinals hat? Why'd you take it off?
Oh man, the Cardinals. Yeah.
Thank you. By the way, as we look at the Pac-12 standings, it's been a great, other than being told tonight to rub Temecula dirt all over my body and having you scratch at me with your nails, it's been a terrific game here as Arizona looks to get within a half game of Washington for the top spot in the Pac-12. They're the only team to beat the Huskies in league play. Washington's got to be the surprise of the conference. The way they've played this year as Rabb is fouled by Kadeem Allen. And again, Cal couldn't call a timeout. They're out of timeouts, having just called their final one. So Rabb will go to the line as Allen picks up his 4th foul.
Washington, wow. Fouling on an inbounds pass, please. Washington, you talk about the surprise. You're not kidding, they're the surprise. We had them over in the Pac-12 China game. Where were you on that trip, by the way? One of the most incredible experiences of my life. Washington, Texas, one of the 6 worst basketball games I've ever seen. There were 80 free throw attempts, 80 plus free throw attempts. We're trying to sell this game to China with that?
Yeah, it was a great experience for the kids and for the coaches, for the broadcasters, the entire league.
They're children, they're young men. Please.
Kids still a great experience, that's the point.
No, it was fantastic, but they were a terrible team and a terrible game. Next year, Stanford and Harvard.
York has it blocked by Rooks. Loose ball. Brown's got it.
Give it up and get it back.
Instead, Matthews takes it himself, but scores. And extends the Cal lead to 4. Inside 4 minutes to go here in the second half.
Jaylen Brown leading the charge here for the Golden Bears. Standing tall. Atop Grizzly Peak. Yes, no one can touch him.
23 points for Matthews, and now it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Arizona ball, 13 to shoot.
Okay, but that play was made by Jaylen Brown, and that's the problem with you stat guys. This is a team game, but teams require leaders, and that's Jaylen Brown.
Oh, Tarzewski, great move, and Rooks has now 5 fouls. He had 4, and then he reached in there on Tarzewski and just fouled out. And remember, Okoro and Rabb both have 4 fouls.
Check the power of Caleb Tarzewski on this play. I mean, Cameron Rooks is 7'2" and weighs probably 270. And Caleb Tarzewski just moves it wherever he wants and just comes right back.
Rooks' dad, Sean, played at Arizona, played in the NBA for 12 years, now an assistant coach in the NBA with the Sixers. Cameron, a sophomore, will go to the bench, and Caleb Tarzewski at the foul line.
Well, I had the privilege of spending years with Sean Rooks on the Clippers. The worst basketball ever played and even shoddier business practices. But there was Sean Rooks who was able to hold this discombobulated group of lost sailors and dispirited, broken-hearted souls. And it was Sean Rooks. Where would the Clippers have ever been without Sean Rooks?
Back to this game, Cal leading Arizona by 2. The Wildcats have made 15 of 17 at the line, nearing 3 minutes to go here in the second half.
You're the one who brought him up. Sam Singer, time for a big, huge offensive play right here.
Singer driving, and Anderson there with a block. Allen's got the loose ball. Rabb trying to challenge, and Allen takes it all the way to tie the game.
Wow.
Allen hurt himself, though. He's hobbling back up the court as Brown drives. Can't score.
Look at Caleb Tarczewski.
Brown, though, comes up with it, and now Matthews jumps into a three and buries it. .26 for Jordan Matthews. Bears by 3.
Cal's out of timeouts, correct?
Allen feeds Tarczewski. Again, Okoro's got to be careful. He's got 4 fouls, and that's an easy bucket for Caleb Tarczewski.
Speak for yourself. There was nothing easy about that. They had to bring the ball all the way around. They had to dump it in, and Caleb had to score against a bigger guy who outweighs him by 20 pounds.
Last win against the top 20 team for Cal was 2 years ago when Arizona was ranked #1. Brandon Ashley got hurt in that game for the Wildcats. That's the last time also Cal beat Arizona.
What?
As Rabb is fouled on the play. And he'll go to the line for a 1-and-1. That's the 19th foul.
That young man underneath the basket on the play there that they just showed, that's Jaylen Brown's older brother. Sitting here watching, supporting his brother.
Meanwhile, Tarczewski's got 4 fouls, so we've got 3 Arizona players with 4, 2 Cal players with 4, and already one guy, Cameron Rooks, who fouled out. Rabb knocks down the front end of the 1-and-1. He's a good foul shooter, 74% on the year for a 6'11 freshman.
Well, Jaylen Brown's brother, older brother, just graduated from North Texas State. Going to play in the NFL next year. He is a stud.
Rabb gets that one to drop. And the Bears back up by 3 inside 2 minutes to go.
Come back to Tarczewski. The Bears are in serious foul trouble. He's got it going offensively. Spot up Gabe York on the weak side for a 3.
Anderson instead takes the jumper short. And look at Tarczewski battle with 4 Bears. And then Okoro had something to say to Tarczewski on the way back up the court. Cal ball in a 3-point advantage, nearing 1 minute to go.
The passion and purpose that Tarczewski plays with, that emotion, you just love it. You cannot teach that.
Matthews, wild shot, but it goes. Everything is falling tonight for Jordan Matthews, 28 points.
Somebody might want to tell the Arizona Wildcats that Jordan Matthews is right-handed. And when you're guarding a right-handed player, you've got to turn him back. He turned this corner, nobody comes. Tollefson unable to get a half a step ahead to turn him back. The guy's a scorer. That's his game. I mean, he's not a rebounder or a defender or a passer. This guy fills it up and he's on fire. Take away the man's strength.
Matthews is 10 of 17 from the floor, 6 of 12 from behind the arc. Neither team has a timeout remaining. Cal leads by 5. That's the Bears football team. A lot of the members of the team sticking around for the second half. They were honored at halftime. Cal's basketball team 12-0 at home. They've been a terrific defensive team at home this year, but it's their offense in the second half that has been a big story. In particular, Matthews.
So it's taken you 4 years to finally believe that offense wins. And you old enough to remember the championship game in last year's Final Four, right? Duke.
Yes, Wisconsin, Duke, yeah.
They just wore down Wisconsin, where you went to school.
I didn't go to school there. I grew up in Madison.
Grew up there, same
Remember
thing.
the cheese you gave me because I grew up in Madison? It was actually here in Berkeley last year.
You went to one school, though. I mean, elementary school, right? So,
and high schools. Get back to the game.
The ability to score down the stretch. The ability to generate offense. Jordan Matthews, Jaylen Brown. Who's Arizona going to?
Let's see if they go back to Tarczewski. York got some airspace and swishes home a 3. The Wildcats within 2.
Magnificent play. Cal out of timeouts now. It's got to be on the floor leadership. Sam Singer. 45
seconds to go. And a steal by Allen. Allen driving on Matthews, ties it up again at 73. 5 points in about 15 seconds for the Wildcats.
Arizona's looking over at Cal's looking over at their bench.
Yeah, remember they don't have a timeout, Bill.
That's not where it's coming from. They had to burn that to maintain possession. Inexcusable at this level.
8-second difference between the game and shot clocks. Here's Brown into the lane. No, but he was fouled, and Tarczewski just fouled out. And if this game were to go to overtime, each player has lost its starting center for the game, and there's a handful of other guys that have 4 fouls.
But here comes Deuce Ristich, who's very qualified, more than capable of bringing it home. And so Sean Miller's going to take advantage of the rule where they get a long time to come together during a foul-out situation.
Right, but not as long as they've had in previous years. They did make that process. They sped it up a little bit as Allen gets another steal. That's 2 transition baskets by Kadeem Allen here in the final couple minutes.
You can't give him a steal for that. Sam Singer just threw him the ball.
But how about Arizona
for colorblindness?
The toughness of Arizona on display again here late.
That's the character. That's the character of the marquee flagship school in the Conference of Champions. They win all their games. They bring all the fans out. Every game they play is sold out, home and road.
As Brown.
Oh, that could have come right back down in that. Had all the earmarks.
So one more for Jaylen Brown as he is 6 of 10 at the line tonight. Comes in shooting 64% on the year. Neither team with a timeout. Both teams over the foul limit.
64% for a freshman is more than a foul.
Cal by 1. Brown gets 1 of 2. Jackson Cartwright will bring it up the floor. Here's York. 12 seconds to go. Inside 10 seconds. York lost the ball. Regathers. 3 seconds. York with 2. Gets the shot off. No. And that's it. Cal knocks off Arizona as the Bears flood the floor. Jaylen Brown with the game-winning free throw. Arizona had a chance. York couldn't put it in. Cal, the #1 defense in the Pac-12. And that was an excellent defensive possession to end the game.
They should not allow court storming. I mean, you can have the time of your life. You don't need to storm the court. Fantastic game. Incredible spirit, effort, passion, commitment, discipline, sacrifice. Gave York right down. He can make that shot. That's a great look. They had all offensive players on the court. 3 defenders come, and then Jordan Matthews, the star of the game on the offensive end in terms of points, statistics, and finishing. He's the one who tips that last rebound away so that Arizona had no chance whatsoever. What a scene, what a crowd, what a game. Berkeley, oh my gosh, only SportsCenter could cover this one. Wow.
Arizona falls to 4-3. Cal improves to 4-3 in the Pac-12, which should be a great race for the Pac-12 title. For Bill Walton, I'm Dave Pasch. SportsCenter is up next. So long from Berkeley.
This is SportsCenter Live.
Hey there, welcome to SportsCenter with John Butchergrass. I'm Steve Levy. Coaching debut in the NBA. Tell you what happens with the Cleveland Cavaliers in their first game under new head coach Tyronn Lue.
But first, a great scene out there at Cal. Jaylen Brown only made 1 free throw. Didn't make the second one, but in the end, they survive as they hold on for the 1-point win. You saw the court storming. Looking forward to going back out to Bill Walton, see what he has to say.
What we both enjoyed, though, couldn't hear the end of the broadcast watching the graphics. No timeouts at the very end. Made for exciting basketball. Dave and Bill.
All right, fellas, we're with Jordan Matthews, who scored a game-high 28 points as Cal beats Arizona 74-73. You're a veteran, Jordan, but you got a lot of young players on this team. How important keeping that in mind, is this win against Arizona here at home?
It's a huge win for us. I mean, both of our young guys stepped up and made huge plays down the stretch. I couldn't be more proud of them. We have a very close together team, so I mean, bringing them up with us hasn't been a problem at all, because they've done their job. They could have come in with ego. They're just great guys, fun to be around, great guys to play with.
So Jordan, talk about the atmosphere, the crowd in here, and how incredibly exciting this was.
Well, I mean, you've been here a lot for our games, and there's nothing better than Haas to me. They got the best fans in the world. The gold out, great turnout. So I couldn't ask for anything else.
What about Jaylen Brown and his growth and how he was able to just take over tonight?
Well, Jaylen's just a great player. I mean, most players they don't want to grow as much as he does. I mean, he wants to grow game by game, and he's done a great job of that, being more under control. He had some huge passes tonight. I couldn't be more proud of him.
How did you deal with the fact that your role was reduced? Then all of a sudden you get this golden opportunity tonight, and you were the biggest, most growling bear of all.
Right. Coach just said stay ready. He said he needs me to make shots and to lead the young guys. That's my role, and I was able to do that tonight.
It was a terrific second half. Congratulations on the win tonight against Arizona.
Wow. Fantastic. Jordan Matthews. This guy's got game. Yeah.
28 points for Matthews, including 6 3-pointers as the Bears hang on to beat Arizona 74-73 for Jordan Matthews. Hall of Famer Bill Walton. I'm Dave Pasch. So long from Berkeley.
Next life, I'd like to come back like Bill Walton, right? You can pretty much wear and say anything you want.
You can wear a golf shirt.
Right.
And
tuck it in the jeans.
Wearing suits.
Yeah.
Really nice suits.
Expensive.
Tyronn Lue has a really nice suit on tonight.
Yeah.
It's a different feel because he's the head coach. LeBron James has a new head coach, and tonight was the debut. They're playing the Chicago Bulls right now on ABC.
You can check out the conclusion of that, although it doesn't look all that exciting.
Let's stay here.
We'll show you a quick